Welcome once again to the Chemical Read Long Spoon. We for the month of November. Here we are in November already. I'm Robert, and
I'm Suzanne.
and we're Clarity,
I'm Sandra.
I'm Suzanne.
I'm Christina.
and there we have it. Um, so as we are tucking ourselves in with the change of season, we are here around the uh, tabletop conversation and for this month of November. Oops. And we're going to start as we did the last couple of months with an oracle from the Alchemical Wisdom oracle deck. And the one we selected for this month is number 34. And the collage that goes with it says patterns to reclaim our planetary home, to connect our roots to Mother Gaia. And then along with that is the text. I'll make it big enough. Would someone like to read that? Let's see. I think it's all showing.
Oh,
Yeah.
you want somebody to read it?
Sure.
Okay. Patterns is a visionary project aimed at reclaiming our planetary home and deepening our spiritual connection to Mother Gaia. By honoring the ancient patterns and rhythms of nature, patterns seek to restore balance and harmony to our ecosystem. Through sustainable practices and regenerative agriculture, this initiative aims to heal the scars of industrialization and nurture the land back to its original splendor. By embracing the interconnectedness of all life forms and recognizing the wisdom inherent in natural patterns, Patterns endeavors to forge a new relationship with the earth, one rooted in reverence and reciprocity. Through this reclamation, we strive to realign with the ancient wisdom of our ancestors and create a sustainable legacy for future generations.
And that's a very, very timely
Yes.
oracle for this month. Oops. Trying to make that a little smaller, but it
Certainly
doesn't
is.
want to go smaller. Here we go. So with November and with the registry and recognition of patterns would be seasonal. That's a big pattern, very familiar pattern to everyone. And as the leaves are falling, the colors are dropping back down into the roots, and people are beginning to tuck themselves back in. Then it gives time to go inward a little bit more, yeah, even though you're still busy, obviously. There's a sense of time and timing that's different than the busyness of summer. So there we are. We're reclaiming our planetary home, which is also connected to your physical residence home.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone would like to jump off anywhere here with the topic of November?
Well, I think because of the time change that we just went through, we've all had to, when you talked about jumping back into our original pattern, I think for a few hours that day, everybody, the whole country, our country, had to do that, had to jump back and look at where they are and what's changed for them and how they're going to create new patterns to adjust to the time change itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was interesting the way you said that.
No, Suzanne and I have been so busy that I didn't even know that it was happening, and was until the next morning that I found out. So I was like, whoa, it's come upon us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it also comes to mind, talk about the regenerative agriculture and having the land go back to its original splendor, and also just that new relationship with the earth, rooted in reverence and reciprocity. We follow this couple that is in Sweden, and they are doing just that with regenerative agriculture, and they're dedicating their whole life to living off grid. And I really feel like they need this pattern to help this particular wisdom card, I think
Mm-hmm.
would be actually really cool to send to them.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
We
and
should.
I think that they are trying to pave a way, helping people to remember the ways of old in a current time. But I think these patterns could really help their efforts together,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a really big undertaking to have the land return to how it used to be, and implement those actual practices are really much easier said than done. And they're showing the world how to do that, and I feel like these patterns could really help them with their work.
Well, and it's really interesting that you're saying that, because, with the work that we're doing as a family community here in the garden plan that we have in this very small, we call it postage stamp of a yard, but the garden plan that is so intentional every year, and is so integral to our livingness, is part of that mycelial network. And it's so the garden plan that we've intentioned has inside of it these patterns that then are helping all these people in
To
the
support
world,
the others.
to support the world that is trying to shift, those that are trying to lead a different kind of life, that are trying to give back to Gaia and recognize it and live in reverence and collaboration with her, instead of just taking, and the regenerative piece. And I really feel like, because of the light and principal patterns and what is intentioned into the garden plan here, on our microscopic, on the small level, which then goes out to
Micro,
macro, right. And it's funny, because I was walking today and I had this realization about how much I have changed just in my understanding of knowing. When I was younger, I'd never even heard mycelial. I'd never heard of the mycelial network. As I was walking today, I was thinking back about all the different falls or autumns that I've lived through so far now in my life, and thinking about each one has been beautiful. But I realize now how much more volumized my understanding and appreciation of these changes in season are, and what the mycelial network is with all these trees, and how vast and just unfathomable really it is about that connectedness between all the roots of the spores and it's all connected. And these light and principal patterns, you all realized a long time ago that they are mycelial in nature, and so they run along those mycelial lines. And so that's how we are connected in that invisible way, but to all of the world, all of the universe, really, because mycelial is in the ethers and in space, and in the universe, the galaxy. So I was really taken aback when you first read this, Robert, because and the collage is of all the light and principal patterns, a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what pattern is doing to support Gaia and to support humanity and getting back in touch with connecting with Gaia. So I am so grateful for that gift of awareness, and I really believe that these light and principal patterns are changing the world. But in that sense, that's how they can change the world, on that network, on that mycelial network. And it is reaching people in Sweden and all over the world who are suddenly feeling inspired and supported and committed to having that collaboration and that commitment to give back to Gaia.
I'm glad you referenced back to the collage there, because it is a registry of the patterns of the various healing mycelial
Yeah.
patterns, and then over on, because this is a triptych that we're seeing with number 34, and then to the left panel is not only the flower patterns, but also one of the tapestries in the center of that panel.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side, you have the Asimic writing and the red thread and the two faces of the mother
Yeah.
up there. So it brings the recognition of what pattern does and how it connects and how it has a conversation with you if you are
Yeah.
open to it. So all of the collages that Susain's done, the text above and below the image is the conversation within those patterns, and then to have it
Right there.
with the text over to the right, making up what is the alchemical wisdom cards is just wonderful, because it really does bring the recognition of the wisdom that's inherent in natural patterns. So that's really wonderful. And to reclaim your, through the reclamation, it says we strive to realign with the ancient wisdom. So reclaiming your position with your relationship
Right.
with patterns helps you center yourself in your own inner home, as well as your residence home,
Yeah.
as well as your home of Gaia, and then your home of the planetary, galactic, universal solar system. All of those nesting dolls of positions and places in existence. So November is kind of, it is a nesting doll kind of thing.
Yeah.
You start to go back into these nested areas. The garden helped nest us along and nurture us and bring us into harvest through its growing season of the summer and into the fall, and gave us wonderful places to be in the garden. I love that. Our swing and your swings and Sandra's swings.
Yeah.
We have all the
Temple
spaces, and then our temple area and the Ogum tree garden, and in the area that is the kind of our yoga and meditation space, and then the area with the troughs for all the plantings,
Herbs.
and then we have a little cottage. There's a lot involved in the garden, and then the like different zones, just different
Yeah,
areas of
definitely.
focus,
I
which
think
is a
that-
pattern.
Yeah. I actually counted 8 specific zones in the yard. And it did include the front yard because it is part of the garden.
Mm-hmm.
But there's 8 spaces that in one day you could go to 8 different energy patterns
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mhm.
and sit in them.
have a different
And
view,
have a different view.
different feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. That's just, I mean, I've never heard of any of
Different,
those.
really
different
cool.
seating, different
Yeah,
light,
right, yeah.
different.
Different chairs
Yeah,
to sit in.
And some places are more shaded, some are more sunny, and then that can even change at different times of the
Right.
day. We had our Sunshine Cafe
Yeah.
where we would eat a lot of times.
We have different birds in different
Yeah.
places.
Yes.
And our class last past Friday was talking, Suzanne and Robert had written about sitting in different chairs, and the atmosphere you sit in and how you can actually do dreaming or ask for answers and that type of thing. And then you realize, then you can count in at least 16, 17 chairs in these 8 spaces
Yeah.
That's pretty
that
good.
are, and each one's different, so each one has a different energy.
And we have a gathering place for the whole family.
Right.
Yes,
Mhm.
gosh, yeah, and I did.
The red tent, yeah.
Yeah, the red
We have
tent.
the big red tent. And then we also have classes there in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's wonderful.
And
all-
eat
all the-
breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's been really fun this year to do that. We love, we just shoot out the door when it's warm enough
Yeah.
Yeah.
just
after
live
the
up-
wintertime in Maine to get out there, and then we are just solidly outside as much as we can be
Yeah,
until we
right.
can't be anymore. But and so November kind of brings us back inside which is
Go out for a little bit.
absolutely wonderful with the color and the patterns and the intensity of all the different energies in here. And when you mentioned the different different chairs and their perspectives, you know, wherever you sit, outside or inside, depending on where you're sitting, is what you're viewing. So each one gives a different view, a different angle, a different perspective, different set of visual clues and patterns that you can put together.
So this long spoon is like a big bunch of chairs that
Mm.
offer new perspectives
Mm.
on
Mhm.
everything.
right.
Mhm. Each
Each section that you
yes.
go to
So
is
That's
a
beautiful.
It's a
Mhm.
spoon
Wow,
with
I like
chairs on it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Different zones of consciousness and perspective awareness that you get to drop into.
I keep reading this one part that really stands out is the deepening our spiritual connection to Mother Gaia in reference to the patterns, and I just think that it's such a like a universal thing if you think about it, like all religions aside, all different ways of looking at I don't know, the universe, the creators, God, all these different things. It's like, how universal is that to deepen a spiritual connection to Mother Gaia? I mean,
Mhm.
is there a better way as humans, as humanity,
Yeah.
to celebrate that?
It's a unifying
I mean,
factor
you
for
can't
sure.
argue with.
And you can see
know,
her.
Yeah,
You
it
see
just
every part of her.
it feels like what a beautiful thing to celebrate, and you can do it in so many ways. Whether you're sitting in different chairs, different parts of the garden, or just taking time to breathe her in, or admire
Smell her
all
flowers.
the birds and different things in and around you. I mean, it just feels like if somebody wasn't sure how to step into a spiritual life, I feel like what an invitation that is to just sit with Gaia, Mother Gaia, and feel the connection versus the disconnect.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because we're really not disconnected, even if there's this thought that is
That
not
you
real.
are, yeah.
That you've got to, you don't have to roll in the mud to feel like grounded in Gaia. I mean,
Yeah.
you can, but you
I
can
think
in
it's-
mud pies too, and all of those things. But
It's interesting that we are doing this tabletop the day before Election Day.
Mhm.
And so much
I'm
of
glad you brought
our
that up.
work is about sovereignty, our own sovereignty in our lives and in this world. And so the thing we focus on is every day we vote.
Mhm.
yeah,
Instead of waiting every 4 years or once a year to vote, it's important to learn to vote every single day
Right.
for your own sovereignty.
Mhm.
I love
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, your connection.
I definitely want that kind of bumper sticker on the car. Vote every day for your sovereignty.
Hmm. Wow.
That is really true.
So you're going to find through this month's long spoon a lot to be nurtured by. As we have, as always, we have usually we have 3 to 4 of the alchemical read flip books there to read, and we have an audio of the Creative Life series that we've done, Creative Life shows. This one is the big picture this month. And then the various galleries. So there's a lot to sit into and give yourself time to go to each one of those areas. Instead of, that's the nice thing about the long spoon, you don't have to scroll and fly down the page like you have to in social media. You get to
Right,
actually, this is a place to be able to take a breath and slow down, treat yourself to a nice hot cup of cocoa or coffee or tea or whatever, and just sit and take it in and let it kind of soothe you. Because everything here is very nurturing to not only the curiosity of the soul, but also to the need for connection and conversation on a deeper level, and it really does give you that.
I also think that this long spoon, the alchemical long spoon, creates a sustainable legacy for future generations, like this last line says.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mhm.
really think that it's so incredible to have all of these archived
Mm-hmm.
and have access to them as
Mhm.
well
Yeah.
along the journey. So I think that it's a really incredible feature
Yeah, thank you for
to
saying
have
that,
access to those.
because it is timeless. I mean,
Thank you.
this is curated, so it's
Mm-hmm.
in essence it's timed for this month. The selections that we've curated for you for this month are specific to the unfolding of November
Yes.
and will help. But in another regard, they are timeless, so that you can refer back to them later as well. And as we've done in the Long Spoon, as a member, you have access to all of the previous Long Spoons, and they're I think we're up to, I don't know,
Well, I think they're also
27
time, yeah.
now of them.
time to assist with this specific November
Yes,
and what it holds.
yes,
What it holds
absolutely.
for all of us personally,
Mm-hmm.
what it holds for us as families, as a country, as the whole planet,
Mm-hmm.
as all the other countries, sovereign wise,
Yeah.
spiritual wise, political wise, all those areas. This one is to hold the spirit through this
Yeah, it's all inclusive.
and help assist with sovereignty and wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that.
It's truly such a gift. Thank you all.
Mm-hmm. You're so welcome. It's always fun to do. Sometimes it's a little more hectic depending on the timing of the end of the month versus the class that we do, that we create a flip book in, and sometimes it's a little more spread out. And this month it seemed to be that way, a little more spread out. So it's been fun to work on this week, and we're glad to be
Well, and thank you
getting it out.
to our whole family that makes this possible.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
You know, either we
Thank
all
each and
participate in
every one of
classes,
you.
we participate in Clarity House and the way we live, and in the way we reach into our own sovereignty every day as individuals and souls and a family.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Well, let's see. I think maybe do we have anything else that we would like to add?
Does anybody?
I keep reading the first three, four, where it says patterns is a visionary project, and I think that's awesome because I haven't attached the word project to all these patterns, and the process that we live in is a project, and therefore it's extremely important, and it needs to be supported. And I don't know, I keep reading that visionary product. It's something I haven't. I'm glad you put that in there. This isn't just our journey. It's a project for the universe, for our Gaia.
Yep.
Thank you.
Support.
Well, projects are things we process.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what yeah.
And we've talked a lot about process lately. And I love the fact that I was just thinking about too that nature and Mother Gaia, it's a place where the elemental world, the Fey realm, everything is able to reveal itself through nature, and it has a place that it is able to reveal itself, the elemental world. Like you suddenly can see the elements, experience the elements when you go out in nature. You suddenly come in contact with
with air and water and different things can manifest themselves more that way. And I was thinking about that, how these patterns, because of the way they were intentioned, they do the same thing. And as they are shared throughout these long spoons and the whole website, but through the long spoon, that these patterns reveal more of life to us. They bring out more. It's like an opportunity or an invitation, as you were saying, Christina, to experience more of what the world has to reveal and to share, and everything from the elemental world to our the language from our souls, the galactic universe language, and just understanding more of the world around us. It gets revealed through these patterns, and so it really is such a gift and a journey to get to go to over and over at different times in your life. There's going to be more and different things revealed each time, depending on where you're at, what you're able to see and receive. So it's really, really cool that way.
Thank you. Well, that was lovely. And a very tasty tabletop conversation, I must say. Like a little dessert inside the long table of the long spoon.
Yeah, that was like a chocolate budino. Is that what you call it?
I think so.
Budino. Very fancy term. Well, thank you to everyone for participating in the conversation, and then thank you guys for your support and your listening and taking in the conversation, and then we hope that you thoroughly enjoy the full flavor of this month's long spoon. So welcome to November. And then we will have a December one coming up next month. So thank you for being with us, and we'll see you next month. Enjoy this month's long spoon.